Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Facebook Live in 30 days of user experience questions that I'm answering for you. Today's question actually comes from Val. Excuse me. And Val wants to know, how would you describe the role that intuition plays in your work? And I love this question because we all sit in our tech companies designing, developing, doing all these things that we consider logical, that we think makes sense. And we all like to believe that we don't do things based on feelings or emotions, that we do them based on logic and reason. Unfortunately, science disagrees, and we do a lot of things based on how we're feeling at the moment or what we're doing. It's why if you have a meeting just before lunch, you're less likely to be able to reach a consensus than if you have it right after lunch when people are feeling happy and full, or people are kinder on sentencings at prisons, and people being left out on parole in the first thing in the morning versus at the end of the day when they're tired. And so those things play a factor in the work that we do, and so does intuition. And the reason intuition plays a role in the work that we do, and the reason that it's good that it does, is because our brains can't actively process most of the things that we come up against. And while that plays out in the way of we rely on stereotypes and biases more than we should, it also means that our brain processes things subconsciously. This is the reason why when you're learning something or you're trying to figure out a solution, taking a break from it and sometimes even going to sleep, and then you come up with a solution that you hadn't thought of before. It's that that step away that allows your brain to really process what's going on behind the scenes in a way that you're not consciously aware of, and that makes it easier for you to come up with the solution. And so intuition plays a huge role in the work that we do. Yes, we absolutely have to balance it with our brain shortcuts for biases and stereotypes and any sort of bigotries that result from that. But a lot of our intuition does help us do our job better. And that's why when you encounter designers with years of experience, they can see problems and find solutions much more quickly and usually come up with better solutions because they have that background knowledge sort of informing it, even though they don't actively think about every problem they've ever solved. That all goes into their process of understanding and making decisions and finding solutions. And so intuition plays a huge role in the work that we do. And I would recommend that if you never take time to listen to your intuition or to give yourself space from a problem before you solve it, if you just sit there and insist on solving it all in one shot, don't do that to yourself. Give yourself time. It's part of why I recommend that you send people information in advance of a meeting. Send them the questions you're going to cover or the material you're going to cover, because that gives them the time to process through everything subconsciously as well as consciously. And that's why when I work with clients and I present them designs, I give them time to give me feedback. So I usually give a client at least 24 hours to give me any sort of feedback that they have on the design work that we've done, because their initial reactions might not be the ones where we end up going with, or they may think of something later that they hadn't realized, and that just took some time to process. And so I would take a look at the processes that you use in your organization and how you go about solving problems. And do you leave space for your brain to process subconsciously and use your intuition to help guide you in why one decision might be better than another, even if you can't always articulate it? And if you're not doing that, see if you can find some space for it. It's great to be logical and it's great to have data to back up everything that we're doing, but intuition is a large factor in human existence and we can't just ignore it in our designs. So that's my answer for today. If you have a question, you can leave it here in the comments, or you can email me at hello@pixelsforhumans.com. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow.